And hello, this is Philip at thebest3d.com. In this quick video I want to show you how to install the new version of PD Pro 8. This is the Howler edition. And I've downloaded the demo, which is release candidate 18 of the demo. It's probably going to be the final. There might be another one up above that. And every once in a while, who knows, maybe another update. So the file name of what you downloaded might be slightly different. But the installation should be pretty similar to this. So let's have a look. You could double click it to run it, or you could right click it, which is what I'll do here. I'll right click, and the first thing you'll want to do is scan it with your antivirus programs. You might have a few installed, you might have Malwarebytes, maybe Avira. Whichever it is you're using, scan it, and perhaps use a second scanner for on-demand scanning as well. There are a lot of free online scanners available from a variety of reputed antivirus companies. Just make sure that you have a good safe download and it's not going to compromise your system, especially if you download it from sites other than the ones that we control directly. Alright, and actually even you just want to safely scan before you install anything you download over the internet. Alright, so here I'm going to I'm not going to double click it. I'll select run as administrator, because that will give me some permissions that I may want to have to bypass UAC, user account control. If you have UAC enabled, it could hinder certain installations, and that depends a lot on how severely that UAC is set and on a variety of other places and criteria. This is perhaps the simplest or the fastest way to install it as administrator. And then I'll go and select something like the default location. The default location where it should install should be something like Howler demo, because this is the demo version. When you install the full version, if you decide to purchase the full version, you'll have a different folder where you can install the full version, so you can later safely uninstall the demo without affecting the full version. If you are on a 32-bit version, you'll probably see it installed by default in a folder on the C drive under program files. But if you have a 64-bit version of Windows, like in this one here, it will pick the x86 version of the two program files folders. Alright, so it's probably a good idea to just leave that default folder, but if you know you want it somewhere else, go ahead and do that, and then click Next. And in my case, I actually had already done an installation of the demo version a little bit earlier with a prior edition. So it sees that this folder already exists, and it will just warn you that you're about to install into a folder that already exists that potentially could contain a different version, and you may not want to override it. In this case, I know it's safe, so I'll continue anyway. And let's go do that. Alright, and then where was I here? Okay, well, this is the step where we have the start menu folder. So inside the start menu, on the lower left corner usually on your screen, under the start menu in the programs, there will be a category created called Project Dog Waffle Howler Demo. Right, and you can certainly rename this if, for instance, you want to call it Howler 8 Demo, if you want to distinguish it from an earlier version. And let's see, if you decide you don't want to create a menu folder, it will just have the options placed directly into the top level of the start menu, the program files. It's good to keep it with the default here in general. Also, I would recommend to create a desktop icon. And of course, if you have already installed a different version, you'll have to be careful, because you might possibly replace the current icon with a new one here. So always know for sure which one you're running. When you have multiple icons or just one, make sure you check, right click and select properties on that file so that you can see where it's actually pointing to. Alright, so I'm going to just say, yeah, let's use this desktop icon, and then click Next, and then we're ready to actually do this installation, and that will take just a few seconds on my system here. It's a relatively fast system, but not the latest generation either. It's a second generation Intel i7 processor, so it will show a total of 8 cores when you go into the process or the task manager. And there we go, already done installing, and there is one last step that it will prompt you to, and that is the registry compatibility mode tool will pop up, and that will help it to run a little bit smoother. So what you'll want to do is add the registry key, and at that point you're done. Now you're ready to run it, and it will have this checked by default. So if you say finished, not only will you finish the installation wizard, but it will also launch Project Dog Waffle Howler at this time. If you don't want to do that quite yet, or if for some reason it fails, and which is possible if you didn't run this installer as administrator and you have UAC enabled, what you could do is uncheck that, right, and you could finish and then go and manually run it from the start menu. You'd go to the start menu and find all programs and navigate to the demo version of Project Dog Waffle, which is not showing here yet, but what you could do is definitely run it from there manually. What I'll do instead here is I'll just launch it right there, and that completes the installation of the PD Pro Howler 8 edition, Howler 8 demo version, and ready to paint. So you have a limited number of saves available in this demo version, and you have basically therefore the ability to really create some dazzling paints and illustrations, and also save them. Right, so we want you to really fully explore all the capabilities that this program has. Pine branches, all sorts of new features with the bristles, orbitals, and foliage brushes. And of course, this is only one part and one aspect of the whole program. We do have a lot of standard brushes. Right click here on this icon inside the tool panel, and the tool panel might appear differently in your case. You might want to go here to the help menu, to the window menu, and see the settings there, right? Settings right here. Okay, and you can set the amount of memory used for undo. I have it up to 256 megabytes here. You can see the threading, how many cores are recognized on your system. If you ever need to recover the position, the default appearance of some of these pop-up windows, if you get some of them lost because they move off screen and you can't see them anymore, what you'll want to do is go into, if you can do that, go to the window and settings, and in here kill the registry items. Right, when you do that, that will allow you to recover and find default positions and default sizes and other parameters again for your floating panels. Right, so next time you start the program, it will come back to a more default configuration. Alright, so let's start diving in here and explore some of the things you can do with PD Pro 8 Howler.